Hello, welcome to Writers Behaving Badly. Only right now we're talking about publishers behaving badly. And I just wanted to wrap up a couple of ideas about the Chizine situation since I've been waiting to see what's going to happen next, and apparently nothing. Chizine has issued two statements. The first one was just addressing the one author who had been complaining about not getting royalties, and they said publicly that he's all paid up and they'll look into making sure other authors are paid. Pretty much what that was in a nutshell. Of course, it was a big long statement, but that's what they said. And then they issued another statement saying that Brett and Sandra have stepped down from Cheesing Publications and they put Christy Harkin in place to deal with authors paying the royalties. Now, this upset a lot of people because um, Brett and Sandra are still cheesing. Like it's their company, they invented it. Brett invented Cheesine Chiaroscuro magazine way back in the 90s, and then about 10 years ago, Brett and Sandra, who are husband and wife, created the printing publication and a reading series to go with it, and received a lot of government grants for their efforts and this sort of thing. And so, although people, can be rather forgiving when it comes to late royalty payments or, things slipping through the cracks, as far as I could see in these statements, they've never apologized or addressed any of these ideas. Um, they're stepping down, but it didn't really come with an apology. And there were a lot of things that came out of the woodwork, not related to money, but to uh, how how various interns, authors, and editors, and even publishing how printing presses, really, if you read between the lines, were treated in getting some of these books out. And people are angry not so much at the money, but at the idea that this has never been addressed. They haven't, Brett and Sandra, all they, when all this happened, they shut down all their social media, and some of the authors that work for them or had worked for them also shut down social media, and some of them still back Brett and Sandra, and some of them are totally against Brett and Sandra. And you can kind of see all this play out on Twitter, on Facebook. Yeah, there's many, many articles written about everything. They're a couple weeks old now because nothing new's really happened. I've been waiting to see if there's going to be any apology at all. So it's a little disconcerting, and people are upset because Brett and Sandra still own the company, as far as we know. And so the idea is that people are saying that even though Christy Harkin is in charge now, um, Brett and Sandra would still get money and so on. So, anyways, there's resolution, but not. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the company. I've not talked to anyone involved at all. I do want to say that there's been a lot of talk about cheesing being racist and being like sexual abuse and that sort of thing. Um, in what few things I could see, because I know people have blocked me from various threads. I know people have blocked me from posts because people have told me about posts they've seen. Um, Even though I'm not a cheesy author, I'm not part of the inner circle. I don't think, because I haven't even been to their new home, and they moved like 5 years ago. I've never even been invited. I don't know, a lot of what's happening behind the scenes, but people are upset that that there's been no apology or acknowledgement. However, I would say that in all the years I've known Brett and Sandra as people before they started the company, and it's funny because I did hang out with them a little bit more back before they had the company. And once they had the company, I rarely saw them. I think I went to cheese series maybe twice a year, that sort of thing, because I'm busy with my own life, my own stuff, and I'm not one of their authors. I never aspired to be one of their authors because I deal with US publishers. Um, but just, it's part of the scene, right? And I'm the Horror Writers Association Ontario chapter head, so I like to see what's happening in our city of Toronto here. So I do feel comfortable saying that I do not believe that Brett and Sandra themselves are racist, or I don't know so as much about the sexual harassment, but I really don't see either one of them as that. However, definitely some of their authors are racist and sexual harassers, and maybe not necessarily the ones that have been pointed out by name in various publications. But let's face it, they have a stable of what, 100, 200? I have no idea how many authors they have. I never counted. I don't know if it's anywhere. But you can bet there are racist, sexist, misogynist assholes in those authors, because there are everywhere. So then we get to the idea of, is a publisher responsible for what its authors do? However, a lot of what has been saying that I can see when I'm reading people's blogs and stories is that there was the culture of toxicness in dealings with the interns and with some authors, especially younger people. And it's a different generation, right? Brett and Sandra, well, Sandra's a generation down from me, and Brett's like two or three generations down from me. So I'm kind of like the old crone watching all this. And yeah, the kids these days do not do things the way old school or the old boys club, or those of us who are maybe considered the old guard. I'm not, I'm like the middle guard. There's older guards than me kind of thing of the genre, right? But there's always going to be a potpourri of people. And how much is a publisher responsible for their authors' behaviors? I don't know. But again, these stories about the culture of bullying and, singling people out and being mean to them, the mean girls idea, certainly sounded like this was happening. Anyway, so I think the thing that's hurt Chizine the most was not the financial stuff, but was the fact that they ran and hid when all this went down. They have yet to apologize. And certainly, I'm sure this is because. I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't talked to any of them, but I suspect it's for legal reasons now that they haven't made any statements whatsoever, except the very bare bones. We're going to fix this, and now we've stepped back and we put someone else in power, and that's all they can really do, I think, at this point. I don't know, because I'm not a lawyer. I know nothing about the law. I just know many people are angry, and Cheesine, as far as I can tell, is going through something, and I don't know if it's going to survive. I don't know if it's going to collapse. I don't know if the government's investigating the grant money and all this stuff. I don't know. But I just thought, since I brought up the subject for a couple of videos, I'd just give a kind of final answer on this. However, if I do find out more information about anything, like if the company's officially closed down or if it's officially reopened, or and that sort of thing, I will definitely report it here on Writers Behaving Badly YouTube channel. But for now, I wish everyone the best. I'm really feel bad this happened. Uh, I guess one of the good things about this happening is that a couple of other Canadian publishers have also been called out for their ways. Edge Publishing, it's no secret. People have known for years and years that Edge is also very bad at paying. But they don't have the toxic climate, as far as I understand, that people are reporting that they had with the cheesing experience. Um, and then there was another publisher that just came, I read about her last night. that she's closing down because I guess she was accused of sexually harassing an author last year. I can't remember the name right now. And again, that was another Canadian publisher. So in people coming forward about Chizine, it did give people courage to come forward about other publishers and other incidents and other situations that need to be corrected within our genre as well. So I guess it's like the tower card. Everything blew up. Now everything's exposed, or many things, or I don't think everything will ever be exposed about any of these companies, but certainly awareness is growing, and all we can do at this point is move forward. We can choose to forgive and forget, we can choose to accept, we can choose to deny, we can choose to avoid toxic people in our life, we can be hyper vigilant for red flags, whether we're dealing with people as friends or as business or as business partners. And also, I think one of the biggest takeaways from the whole cheesing publications situation, since this is a new world, this is a new world order, things have dramatically changed in society since I began my career about 20 years ago. I could definitely see changes, and the biggest lesson learned in my head, and hopefully Brett and Sandra, is do not mix business and pleasure. Do not. And for me, that was one of the main reasons I didn't go to Cheesine as an author, because I had known them for so long, and I thought it would be nepotistic, perhaps, to work with them. I don't know. I had my reasons in my head. Not because I thought they were bad people or anything, but just to me, it was mixing business and pleasure. So this is a warning now, I guess, because some of the problems you can read for yourself in some of these articles were the ideas of interns pretty much like living at their home, because it's a home business like most of us have. I have a home business too. And I think it got murky between the business and pleasure part, with interns staying over and watching movies, and then there's no boundaries or perimeters. And then that's how people get taken advantage of, either way. And this is how things can get ugly when things go bad. And so we have to remember when we're running our businesses to keep business like, and do not combine business and friends. Keep your friendships here, keep your business here. It doesn't mean you can't do business with friends, but keep your boundaries, know your boundaries, establish your boundaries. And for young people starting out as interns, I know I've done it myself. I've been in similar situations in my life in the theater world, um, where, yeah, you get excited. And, when I was a teenager and young adult, before I went to university, I got into some situations myself where business and pleasure and like acting in a show, but doing business like being the secretary or whatever, and then you get enmeshed, and then I'm suddenly babysitting, then suddenly it all starts to combine. And for me, nothing bad happened, but I see how it happens. I absolutely see how this can happen, and how things can go bad quickly, should they go bad, right? So just everyone, keep aware of your boundaries, especially if you're young watching this and you're looking for internships or you're looking for your first new jobs. Don't be afraid to just say no. Don't be afraid to set your boundaries. Don't be afraid to say, I'm not going to babysit your kids or watch your cats or sleep over and watch a movie with you. My hours are 9 to 5, and I'm going home and living my life. You cannot call me. I'm not going to stay up all night friggin' formatting your books or whatever. Okay? So I give all you young interns and newbies permission to set your boundaries. And because even working for free, You have your boundaries, and it's like my friend Monica Kubler said at a at our horror writers meeting the other day. I can't remember exactly how she said it, but it made me laugh. But she's like, I don't mind volunteering for something, but I need to know when it's going to end, or something like that. But she said it in a much funnier, quirkier way. But that's true. If you're volunteering for something, know what you're volunteering for, know your perimeters, and learn to say no. And if someone's being offensive, whether racial or sexual or another way, interfering in your personal life, perhaps, just get out. There's lots of other people that would be welcoming your intern efforts, your new enthusiasm, who want to help you grow and learn and blossom. Okay? So that's just general information, not picking on cheesing, just general in life, because I've been there, a lot of us have been there. And my my point of this channel is to help people grow, not to be an asshole and pick on people, but I want people to grow and learn from mistakes and from watching other people's mistakes. The point of my writers behaving badly playlist is for us to learn from other people's mistakes so we don't make those mistakes ourselves and destroy our own careers. you know so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to do a pile on, I'm not trying to bully, I'm just trying to see the big picture and to be helpful to up and coming people who may not understand that it's okay to say no, it's okay to set boundaries, and it's okay to report people to other people, to industry professionals like the HWA Grievance Committee or the SIFWA Grievance Committee. And yeah, people say HWA Grievance Committee is a joke. The thing is, they can only do so much. There's only so much, but the fact that these people have gone to the HWA Grievance Committee, it is on record, and the more people that go and say, then the more, if people do make reports towards these committees, then there's more to go on when something like the Chizine fiasco explodes open. You can go back and see, well, yeah, there's been rumblings for a few years. This was done, this wasn't done. We couldn't do this because of the law, and don't forget, like, something like the HWA is in the United States with United States legal advice, whereas the cheesing situation happened in Canada. So what can be done? I don't know. Some things were done. Authors were paid from people going to HWA over cheesing over a year ago. I think it was over a year ago. I don't have my timeline straight, and I need more coffee, but but definitely, even if you think HWA is a joke, you don't have to be a member to grieve to any of these committees, HWA, SIFWA, I'm sure crime writers, sisters in crime, romance writers, whoever you're affiliated with, whatever genre you're in, go to all the committees. Here in Canada, we have the Writers Union, people can go to the Writers Guild, I think it is. There's lots of places to at least squawk. They may not be able to actually help you, but like I said, once they get the list going, they see a pattern, then definitely there's more power with that information. Okay? So don't give up. Keep fighting the good fight, and keep talking to each other. Talk to me too, because the more we know about people and how things are run and how things should be run and how things shouldn't be run, the more we can help each other to succeed and have wonderful, exciting lives. Okay, so have a fantastic day, and I'll see you around soon.